Hi, I'm Michael Dennin, and welcome to the Physics of X, where X is everything except politics. And what we're talking about today is the Harry Dresden files, and we're alternating between science and faith, and today is a faith topic. We're actually going to draw on an incident explicitly from the book Small Favor, so if you haven't read it yet, you might want to hold off watching this video, run out, read the book, and come back. But there's a scene near the end of the book where Harry is really struggling with the fact that one of his best friends has been shot and may actually die. And Uriel, one of the archangels, actually comes to him as a janitor and they have a conversation. And one of the biggest struggles in philosophy, in faith, and human history is this question of evil and suffering. Now, we don't have time in this short video to go into that in detail, but there's an interesting aspect of it that gets addressed by Uriel in this part of the book. One of the things that always comes up in this space is God being all-knowing and all-loving, so how can bad things happen? And people kind of make a couple of conclusions. Well, maybe if God is all-knowing and he's letting bad things happen, he's really a petty God. How can he be all-loving? To maybe God is just indifferent. And that's kind of where Harry Dresden falls in this exchange initially. He's like, how can God, who has to deal with and know everything in the whole universe, actually care about something as small as what's happening to me? And this is where Uriel, the archangel, puts a very interesting twist on it. And I think it's important here to think about, because very often in these philosophical and faith arguments, we use words like all-loving, all-knowing, and then we apply our characteristic of what we think all-knowing and loving should be, which is a fascinating step. It's really a logical fallacy because by definition, we are not all-knowing and all-loving. So by not being all-knowing, it's hard to know what all-knowing is. So we end up in this circular problem, yet we love to use it in our arguments. Uriel basically says, you seem to have it backwards. If God truly knows everything that's going on, feels everything you feel, how could God not care? Now, that may or may not be a satisfying answer for people, and in fact, initially Harry isn't very satisfied about it, because this question of suffering is an incredibly hard one, but it's a very interesting and different way of looking at it. And I find these are the sort of things when we explore the questions of non-physical reality, it's really about asking careful questions and figuring out, well, how can we know more? And to just blindly say, well, all-knowing will do this is very tricky when we don't know what all-knowing is. And Uriel, I think, poses a really important question to reflect on. Just like as we feel things in our body, we tend to care about it. If God knows and feels everything going on in the universe, God would probably tend to care about it. So hopefully that's a little food for thought here at the Physics of X. As we talk about the Dresden files, hope you'll come back next week. This has been the Physics of X, where X is everything but politics. Make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you get notifications of every episode coming weekly straight to you.